Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So, gosh, feels like it's been a little while since we've had a chat. I just thought I'd drop in today, show you my nearly completed nest prompt for the Roxy Journal of Stitchery Volume 6 project. Of course, the prompt was nest. Now, this page is going into my Edith Holden tribute booklet or concertina journal. So what have I been doing? I've been stitching everything down, so everything is secure, and then I've come back through all of these little elements and put some little stitches. If you can see that flower there, see how there's like little stitches, and into those leaves I've stitched all through there. What else did I do? Into these a little bit as well. So the next thing I want to do is build the nest, see if I want any more of these little embellishments, as I've got a few still sitting here on my desk, and some leaves, and I was going to use these for eggs. So that's the plan today. The other thing I want to do is create some little paint swatches to suit the colour scheme to add as well, so that it's got that field note sketchy feeling about it. I also have sitting here some of these. I've been putting together packs and goodies for the ladies coming to my retreat in October, and all of these little edges I've been sort of popping in a little pile thinking, field notes. So I might pinch something out of here. That one there definitely is relevant. Might do that now while I'm thinking about it. So yeah, I guess the elephant in the room is, how is Dad going? Dad is going okay. He has got lots of doctors now on his case, literally on his case. He is looking at quite a few surgeries in the coming weeks, which is going to put a little extra strain on our household, but nothing that we can't work through. One of the surgeries is going to be a little bit tricky, and we're hoping that it'll be straightforward but tricky, and there'll be no other complications that come from it, but fingers crossed. The additional surgeries are pretty straightforward and should be, just in for 10 minutes and out. So, and it's coincidental. Isn't it amazing how things just fall into place? Like, I don't know, I tend to worry a lot about everything, and I don't know, sometimes life just gets you where you need to be when you need to be there, and if I didn't worry so much, I'd get there anyway. Does that make sense? So what's happened is a fortnight ago, my husband and I decided that we'd go and get a skin checkup, and I had one spot that I was unsure about, and a couple others that I was pretty confident were just, age spot or moles. Well, both actually. So I made an appointment for hubby and I, and we met Dr. Ben, and he had a look at us, and he said to Gaz, "You're pretty good. You just got some bits and pieces that could be tidied up. Ugly friends," he called them. And he said, "Oh, your one on your arm, girl, it's, I think, okay." But I said, let's take it off, because I've just got a funny feeling about it. It's been there a little while, and I just don't want to take any chances. And the ones on my neck was just mole, a couple moles that my necklace or my seatbelt in the car would rub on. So I wanted those gone, because I was sort of getting irritated every so often, especially when I drove the work van. It must be because the seatbelt sits higher. And then there was a funny looking spot on the back of my calf. So anyway, I go for my little bit of maintenance, and the one on my arm, I've since gone back and had the stitches removed. The one on my arm, which we were pretty sure was okay, but I had a funny feeling about, turned out to be a cancer. So Dr. Ben was pleased that you know, we insisted and got it off. My moles on my neck were fine, but when he was actually removing them, he just happened to get a different angle to the back of my head, where the head meets the neck. And he said, that's something. But in the first investigation, it certainly wasn't picked up. So he said, while I'm here, I'm going to take that as well. So there was like a fifth thing that popped up on the day of surgery. And he took that. We've since found out it too was something. So I ended up having 2 little cancers removed, which is nice to know the little suckers are gone. Gaz's results all came back fine. And in amongst all that, I got a call from Dad to say that there was something wrong on the side of his nose. And he was very concerned. And anyway, I went straight across, picked him up, and I thought, well, I know Dr. Ben now. Literally the week prior, Dr. Ben was in my world, chopping at me. So, and I thought, quicker. We did have an appointment locally for Dad anyway. But I don't know, something told me to get cracking. So we did. And I'm just looking at these little bits here. I'm wondering if that's, I don't have purple, but I have that pink. I wonder if these 3, no, I want to paint, I'll save them for a rainy day. I want to paint something. I feel like painting, guys. I should be making the nest, but I'm sure I grabbed a piece of calico. Yeah, I did. Something I don't have to think too hard about while I yibby yabba to you guys. Yeah, so I got Dad, took him straight across, got a appointment within 48 hours, and yeah, it turns out that he's got some nasty spots too. One's real nasty, but only because of its location, and the rest are just like me, time to chop it off. So that's what we're going through. So my next probably 4 weeks is going to be a bit all over the place. I'll literally be waiting in limbo for Dad's appointments to come and go, which does mean that my channel will suffer. Hang on a minute, I'm going to cough. But I'm sure you guys understand. Sometimes we just got to get these things sorted. So yeah, that's what's happening in my world. A bit of a health maintenance makeover, I'm going to call it. I'm not going to call it a disaster because it's not. It's attention needed to health issues. So yeah. So thank you so much for everyone's kind comments. And is that Shiraz? So I'm looking at my little sampler here. These are Inktense pencils, if you're wondering what they're about. I'm thinking Shiraz and Fuchsia are pretty good. And then I might try and create a paler version with the antique white. We'll see how we go. And I've got a little scrap of calico here, so I'm literally just going to use the pencil to create this little sample swatch of colours in my piece, as if we're sitting out in the paddock sketching. So yeah, I guess the moral of the story, if you're sitting out there with a funny lumpy bumpy bit on you and you're unsure about it, I want you to go and make an appointment right now. Let's just get it sorted. I've been putting it off for so long myself because you're just busy, and it's like, oh yeah, I must get a look at that. And of course every morning you have a shower and you're like, oh, what's that? And you know, even the doc was like, oh, I think it's fine, it should be fine. And he's a skin specialist. And I don't know, I just had a feeling. And yeah, I was in there Saturday. So you guys are watching this Tuesday morning. It's Monday for me. And I was in there Saturday getting the stitches removed. And I said, well, Doc, what was the one on my arm? because it had like funny little veins coming out of it. And it's coincidental, like, oh, it's amazing how things sort of fall into place. We had our friends up from Brisbane, and Kev is very fair. He's a redhead, very fair, and he has been getting the chopped, he calls it the chop chop, gosh, ever since I think I've known him. And I said, oh, Kev, now that we're settled up here, I've got to get us both in for a little bit of a checkup. And he goes, yeah, do it, because he's every 6 months. And he said, have you got something that's concerning? And I said, oh, not really, but, you know, this is probably the one on the top of my arm because I can literally see it. So it's probably why it's top of mind. And he took a look at it and he goes, oh, yeah. He said, oh, for sure. That is like the ones I have. I'm like, oh, okay. And I think that's why when I got to the doctor and the doctor said, oh, I don't know about that one. And I had Kev in my head and said, no, chop it out. Well, you got me. Chop it out. Yeah, it turned out that it was. Thank you, Kev, for sort of saying, oh, yeah. And they can all look so different. And I'm looking for a black pen now to draw around that. I've only got my ink heat-soluble pens. Let me just stand up and have a look. Here they are, right in front of me. I thought I'd put them close to me. Yeah, so thank you, Kev. These blooming little sunspot cancery things. Gee, that's thick. Slow down, girl. Let's just have a look at the sampler. I always put samplers in everything because, you know, you can't remember. No, number 3. I don't do enough drawing to remember that the small numbers are the thick ones or the big numbers are the thick ones. You know, I'm flat out remembering needle sizes, let alone mucking around with art supplies as well. So what I'm going to do is just sort of sketch in a box. So in light of everything that's happening, and of course preparing for my retreats, which has put on extra workload, plus everything's happening at the end of the year, as in Christmas is coming, and that I also own Christmas shops. Stock is starting to come in, container loads of the stuff. So, and now that I'm of a distance from my business, I'm sort of having to monitor from a distance, which takes time, instead of me being there going, yep, do this, do that, do that. So everything just takes time now. It's sort of, yeah, I just feel like I need just to take a moment to catch up on everything and make sure that all the right things are being done for not only myself, but for Dad and for my business and for the retreat. And yeah, so, but we're all good. We're all good. I can't believe the kind comments. You guys are just, oh, I tell you, it's like having a heap of mates, but we may not see each other regularly, but due to technology, we can talk as much as we want, daily, weekly. That's what I feel. Which is just, oh, you have no idea how much support that is, even if it's not a direct chat. You know, just knowing you guys are out there, it's really cool. I'm so pleased I have the community around us, and we're all working on similar things, and yeah, it's just been amazing. So my plan for the next month is to do what I can when I can, which I think you guys have already guessed. There's some days where I will just be too busy to pick up needle and thread due to my workload. And then there might be 3 days in a row where it's nothing much happening, so I'll be back stitching. So I'm going to say that my videos will be a bit hit and miss until the dust settles. So you might get me a couple days in a row, you might get me once a week. I just don't want to commit to anything. But let me tell you, I'm still stitching in, of an evening or in the morning. I'm fortunate that I don't have many projects on the go at the moment, so I don't feel the pressure at all. Really, the only things that are floating around is the Botanical Beauties, and you would have seen yesterday's video, which is the new prompt, which is crocus. I fortunately have 3 episodes filmed, so the next 2 more Mondays you'll see the crocus finished. My pink jacket's finished. My primitive rabbit is finished. So it's been good. I've been able to pack all those bits and bobs back into my stash. So, when you gather everything together for a project and it's sitting in a pile, all that's gone. That in itself feels like, such a relief. What else is on the go? I'm still working on my pieces for the retreat ladies, my Christmas printed panels, but they're nearly done. The Susanna's project, Vintage Blend Studios calendar. The project for the month is the little bird sitting on the cotton reel. So what I have done is, just for something for me to do, I made a little 3D version of the bird sitting on the cotton reel. Let me just get it. I might pause the video. See, I'm heading off on a tangent now. I'll be back in a second, guys. Okay, I'm back. All right, off on a tangent now. So Susanna's prompt for August is this little guy on the reel. And at this stage, I'm not going to stitch it. Doesn't mean I won't in the future. And who knows, I might be 2 weeks from now and go, oh, what the hang, let's do a version of it. But at this stage, it's on hold. But what I did do is I found this pattern. There's a tutorial. I'll let you take a screenshot. I'll put the details below. Etsy store where you can go and buy the pattern. It's just a little beauty. And I thought, how cute are you and how similar, and he's 3D. So I made this little guy for myself. As I said, I'll put the links below, and I thought, what a fantastic little pin cushion. As long as you can handle stabbing a bird with pins. Oh my goodness. Look. Isn't he gorgeous? So I made him up. There's all the pattern pieces and stitched him together. I used my sewing machine. You could do it by hand, but I just felt like hopping on the sewing machine. Embellished his wing a little bit. Buttons and 2 little eyes, which are just pins. And that's him. So if you're following along with the Vintage Blend Studios calendar prompt and you're considering the little bird, and you might want to make a 3D version of Susanna's little bird, and this little pattern is a cracker. So I thought I'd show you that. So if you're waiting for the Corrine version of that project, that's what it is. And he just fits so beautifully even with this Roxy project. I love him. I just needed something different to do. Okay, so I've got my samplers on. The next thing I want to do is make the nest. And I did plan to use some of these things. So I've got some twine. So I think the plan will be to loop it. So I have done this type of nest before, and I'm actually using a similar version of it in my Stitch the Seasons. I've done a little bit of work on that project too, so I'm pretty confident I'll be back Friday with a video on Stitch the Seasons. Now, I'm sort of just going to pretend that I've got lots of sticks and use this, isn't it called eyelash yarn, to to build up my little the soft inner of the bird's nest. So if I keep everything laying on top this way, oops, and then when I secure it in the center and flip it over, it should be sticky on the outside and soft on the inside, like you would imagine a bird's nest. So nice and simple, this one. We can trim it to size when we're ready. Put a bit extra. This is feather yarn, and the other one's called eyelash yarn. I pick it up every so often in the thrift stores. So there's the inside of the nest. So what I'm thinking is I might just use some cotton just to twine around, just to hold it. Pretty simple. There we go. Right, so there's our basic construction of our nest. And then the plan was, if I remember rightly, I was going to use some of these little guys as the eggs and stitch their shank buttons and stitch them in. I presume we want just little ones. So where do we want to position them? I'll probably get overpowered by it all, but I think that'll work. I think if I put them right there and bring the nest here, they're sort of a little bit higher. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. I haven't put too much thought into the next piece for my backyard version, because this is Edith Holden, tribute to Edith Holden journal, where the second one I'm doing is a tribute to my new environment that I'm living in now, which is, you know, a new backyard with new birds, etc., leading into a saltwater lake, leading towards sand dunes and, of course, the ocean. So I'm just thinking about what I could do. My first instinct was to do nesting turtles, but they're technically not in my backyard zone. They're probably an hour up the coastline. There's none here. We often hear of turtles on the beach in front of us, but they're not nesting. They're nesting a little bit further north. And I thought, well, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather one day just do an independent piece about turtles, because I love them dearly. And I could just see a turtle stitched, but not today, not this time. So that brought me back to my yard. Now I have, and I've mentioned him before, I have probably about six willy wagtails. One is the male and the rest of his girlfriends. And oh my goodness, the shenanigans that are going on at the moment, need I say any more? I suspect I'm going to have a lot of willy wagtail babies soon. So he actually just appeared on my windowsill just a minute ago and looked at me and twerked and carried on, flicking his little tail. Little black and white bird, if you're wondering what a willy wagtail. He's part of the wren family. Now he is definitely in my backyard. And I suspect, now I can't find any yet. I've been sort of watching and looking to see where all these girls are going. I haven't located a nest yet. So hopefully I can. But I have Googled what a willy wagtail nest looks like, so I've got my head around the design. So I'm hoping this week I'll be back with the start of my willy wagtail nest page for my second journal, but we'll see. I also have going on this week, the truck is coming from Brisbane with the last of our furniture. Gaz heads off tomorrow. Oh no, he heads off the day you're watching this, so Tuesday. He goes back to Brisbane to greet the truck, do the final clean, and then the truck will camp overnight in a town halfway along, and then the next morning they'll be here with me. So yeah, in amongst it this week is the final move out, and Friday is handover, so Gaz will meet the new owners and I guess show them where all the light switches are, and then he'll drive back. We don't have a lot of furniture coming because, as you know, we got this house handed to us from the builder in October last year, and we have moved 99.9% of the contents ourselves. And so really all there is fridge, freezer, a couch, a dining table, and that's probably about it. Someone's coming through a door. Yeah, it's Gaz, so there'll be a bit of noise. I'll just pause the video. I'm back. Yeah, Gaz was out in the garage. What have I done here? I've got a thread here. Oh my goodness, Gaz was outside with a tradesman and forgot I was filming and come back through the door to the side of my studio, so it's all good. Yeah, so what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. Gosh, only 2 minutes went by and I've already forgotten my train of thought. I tell you, guys, I'm just a bit all over the place. I tell you. Let me just get my sneaky knot happening here. Now, I did remember, because I just glanced in here, I wanted to make the nest look like it had these leaves through them, remember? So I've got the basic stitching down. And I backed these with that heat and bond. So I'm hoping that gives me the stability in the little piece of fabric to stitch it in. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to work. So I'm just sort of making it look like there's leaves also in amongst this nest, which is usually the way, unless you're a willy wagtail. His nest is like a cup sitting on a branch. Very few photographs show it actually nestled within shrubbery and hidden. It's just this bold little cup like tea. It looks like a teacup. So yeah, completely different. I guess all these little birds do their own thing, don't they? Let's have a look at this one. This is a good one. These are just pieces from that fabric. This is going to be such a bulky page. Oh my goodness, I tell you, all my journals get a bit bulky. I can't help myself. Doesn't matter, squish it all in. So just a couple little stitches to help create that three-dimensional nestled in the shrubbery rose garden. Oh, I love it. So what else has been happening? I think that's it, guys. Isn't that enough? Oh my goodness. Nothing like living in sunny Queensland. All those years as a kid doing sport and, you know, not wearing suntan lotion. It just wasn't a thing. Slip, slop, slap was an ad campaign on TV, but when you're in a hurry and you just want to race out the door and do what you want to do, last thing you do is put on lotion. Paying the piper now. Oh. I hope the kids of today are a little bit smarter. I bet they're not. Oh gosh, I hope they are. Just a few little stitches on this little guy. I'm really happy with this page. It definitely feels Edith English. I've got one more leaf in there. I'm wondering if I can get, I just knot that off. I feel like I'm a bit cack-handed here. Oh, I had some more Rachel's fabrics turn up too. That made my day, as you can imagine. Now, I've got quite a few of them now. I don't really know what I'm going to do with them. As I said when I first showed you what I had, I'm sort of hoarding them a little bit. I sort of want to make it something a bit special. And I've got them here. I'll open them up and show you guys. I sort of want to do a project that uses all of them so that it's a, you know, a bit of a tribute. And I was watching Rachel's video. Oh, congratulations, Team Rachel, Lulu and Steffi. Your video, oh, I think it was Friday. I'm not sure. I'm a bit behind on all my videos. Rachel announced that Lulu had got into a university, the second one, and they were getting ready to go and have a bit of a break. And yeah, my heart was bounding as well that Lulu has got herself, I guess, the start of a journey for her career. It's only a little leaf, that one, so I'm going to pop him there. Yeah, so, oh, it was so good to hear, and tears of happiness. It's awesome. Awesome. It was just some good news we needed. Isn't life full on at times? Sometimes it's quiet life, and then other times it is just screaming at you. Thank goodness for slow stitch and, well, you know, any craft really. Thank goodness it's like time out. And because you have to concentrate on something, whether it be crocheting a pattern or stitching, your brain just quietens. It's, yeah, a real gift. So I might now have a little play with all of these little morsels and make sure they're exactly where I want them. They're still in the loop. I haven't cut them. Just gonna see how we go. A couple little well-placed stitches. The beautiful thing of birds' nests are messy, aren't they? So that's going to make it look a lot easier for me. So that little leaf is there, so he could have then another little stitch there. just to hold that. Yeah. Let's just bring that down a little bit there. Catch that there. Bring that into there. Probably way overthinking this, but I am enjoying myself. Thinking I'm a bird, creating a architecturally designed nest. Oh, that's what I was going to say. In Rachel's video where she told us that Lulu had got into one of the universities, she mentioned a piece that she might make. I think it was Judy's idea. And it sort of resonated with me as well, that I'm collecting these Rachel fabrics. And I was actually going to the letterbox about an hour or so ago just to make sure I hadn't missed any mail from the Friday, because I hadn't been out there all weekend. And I thought, you know, it's not such a bad idea, a quilt, or even if it's just a, you know, throw over your lap. It doesn't have to be a massive quilt, Corrine, of all of Rachel's pieces, because I sort of feel like Rachel has inspired me not only to start a channel and, you know, do what I'm doing all those years ago, but I really admire her work. I've got a lot of her digital kits when I was doing journals, so I'm very familiar with all of these prints that are now on fabrics. So I sort of felt like maybe they would suit me as well to have a go. I'm going to snip that. Now it's time to make it look twiggy. Yeah, that's good. So I'm sort of tossing around that concept as well. So it might give me something to stitch and play with while I go through the next month of adventures. There we go. Can we see the eggs? We've got leaves matted in amongst it. Yeah, I like that. Look, there you go. There's my page, folded in half. There's my page. Oh, I love it, guys. The only other thing I want to do now, before I call the page completed, is just have one more look at all of these little pretty elements. I've still got a few things. I don't have to use them, Corrine. You could just put them away. We've got a bud. No. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. I stitched all through. Remember, this is napkin. Gosh, it feels like forever since I did it. This is all napkin glued down onto the fabric. I came through and stitched a bit of an outline of the tree that the little birds are standing on. Now, if I flip it over, you can see by the green where I went. So it was just a hint of it. And it worked out beautifully. So, yeah, napkins are, yeah, great new resource. I might just, I sort of feel like I need a little something up here. Probably don't, but I can't help myself, guys. I really wanted this to feel like it was right in the middle of a rose garden. So I'm just going to stitch this little guy on, just with an overcast stitch. More is more. Less is never quite enough. I keep changing that quote to suit Might see if I could get then another one there. Let's put a little stitch to hold him. So that'll be my final piece of homework on this piece. And then I can stitch it into my journal. It's a double page spread. So I just felt like I needed the room to build up my collage. Oh, that was the other thing I had to tell you. Gosh, there's so much to tell you guys. When you do daily videos, I sort of get it all out of my brain on the day, and you guys are literally a day or so behind me filming. But feels like I've had like a week off. And anyway, I also enrolled in the Anne Kelly's online course. Now, Australian company Fibre Arts Take Two have created a online course featuring Anne Kelly, who is an English textile artist. I have, I think, 3 of her books. I'm a bit of a fan. And you pay the fee, and then you get access to a portal within their website, Fibre Arts Take Two, and you just self-pace through the modules. Now, it's on the same format as when I did the Fleur Woods course, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was so nice. It's like whenever I have a quiet moment where I just don't feel like watching TV or whatever it is, I just pick up my phone and log into the student portal, and I watch a 4-minute module within the course that Anne has put together. And it's just so lovely. Even if I don't do the project that she's working us through, I'm just enjoying sitting as a student, a bit of time out for me and my creativity and development. So I've also got that percolating in the background. And gosh, you know, the other day I was 20 minutes early for the doctor's appointment to get my stitches removed. So I was by myself sitting in my car. It was a beautiful warm day. And I thought, oh, I've got 20 minutes spare. So I logged on to my student portal and I watched 2 modules of Anne, and it just relaxed me. You know, doctor's appointments aren't the best at the best of times. And I was like, oh, quick, I better go. I'm going to be late for my doctor's appointment. So, yeah, I can highly recommend it. If you've never done an online course, go check out Fibre Arts Take Two. They have heaps of artists. They range in pricing, so there's something for everyone there. And you just, I guess, have a one-on-one with some of the famous textile artists that are around. You can participate if you want. Most of them have a Facebook group that pops up later in the month after it's announced, and at that stage you can join and share your work, ask questions. The artist is on hand to chat. It was really good, the Fleur Woods one. Really, really good. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this second one. And maybe I'll do a piece, I don't know. No pressure, don't need to. Just hanging out, having someone talk to me instead of me talking to you. A bit of Corrine time. So yeah, I think that's all my catch up. As I said, there'll be a Friday video definitely for Stitch the Season. Gosh, spring will be over. Winter will be over in a matter of weeks. I've done a lot of work on it, so I think you guys will be impressed with my effort. It's been great. I just pick it up overnight and just keep stitching. I think you guys had a feeling where I was heading with the piece. The last video I filmed for Stitch the Season, I talked through about 3 or 4 areas and my thoughts. So I just stitched it. So I just need to show you that, and I'm on to the final flower and how I'm going to approach it, which I won't know until I sit down and yibby-yabba with you guys. So yeah. What I might do is I'm going to just stop here with this stitching. I don't know how long this video is because I want to show you the 2 pieces that have come from Rachel. I want to get the journal that this is going into and just lay it into position so you can see where it'll end up. And I might grab some of Anne's books and show you who I'm talking about because she's very clever. All right, just put the needle down, girls. See, I can't stop, I tell you. Let's just bring it through to the front. Oh, just do this little bit. It's bugging me that I'm not to that corner. I'm just going to finish it. What the heck? So if you haven't found one of my mates' channels too, Dawn, I'll put a link below. Dawn is a lady that I met a little while back at a retreat, and we just hit it off instantly, and her best mate, Willie, too. Oh, they're just the best girls. Well, Dawn is an incredibly talented textile artist, mixed media girl, and she has decided to start a YouTube channel as well, and she's currently working on the Roxy project, as well as working on an Alice in Wonderland tribute using Susanna from Vintage Blend Studio, her villages that she had printed. And oh gosh, it's just beautiful. So I'll link Dawn's channel below as well, so go and show her some love. She's got quite a few videos up now. What was the word she said the other day to me? It's very addictive, these YouTube videos. It is, because when you've got hundreds of ideas floating around in your head, it's a really good way of getting them out. Whether people watch or not, well, that's beside the point, but at least we get it out of our heads. So yeah, slip over and have a look at Dawn's channel. So I told you there was so much to tell you guys. Oh, now my thread has come unthreaded. All right, that's a sign just to pause the video. So I'll finish stitching that, and we'll call the piece finished. Now I'll pause it, and I'll grab the journal, and I'll grab the books of Anne's to show you that, and we'll have a look at Rachel's fabric. Back in a second, guys. Okay, I'm back again. All right, let me just take this needle away before I jab myself. So that's all I've got to fix there. I've got the books. So this little guy, once I said before, this will be linked below, the YouTube tutorial and the Etsy store where you can go and grab yourself the little bird if you would like to make this little gorgeous little thing. Now, field notes. So this is where my page is going to go, and I'm still doing the concertina thing, and that is going to be nestled into there. Yeah, it fits beautifully. Awesome. Awesome. I might put some extra lace around here, sort of tuck some lace in just to finish off my edge as well. That will fit beautifully. How bulky is it? Oh, it's fine. Oh, good. It's going to be quite a chunky piece when it's all comes together. Oh, I love it, guys. Oh, I love it. Let me come up a little bit. I love it. What a journey. Fantastic. About the only thing I don't have on there is some words. What did I do here? I stitched hyacinths, daffodils. I might have to get the word nest in somewhere. Maybe I can stitch it there. Where's my heat soluble pen? Nest. Just a little hint of it there, and I'll stitch that. Okay guys, I'm going to call this page complete. So we can put that to one side. Now let me show you Anne Kelly's work. Some of you will probably now connect the name to the work. These are the two books I have. The course imagery is based on this, and this is the sort of style that we're working through. But she also has this one as well, which is a book. See, I love it. So I've already got pages that just using a map and stitching into a map, like she covers items, you know, like boxes and paper and stitch. Oh, that little piece is in the course. I haven't had a chance to even pull these books out and have another flip through them. There's about 3 projects that we can do if you want to do all 3 in the course, or you can just do 1, you can do 2, whatever takes your fancy. No pressure. I'd say I'm just observing this time, just to hang out with someone who does different work to me. Gosh, just look at her pieces. Yeah. She does all sorts of mediums, like sketching and making, what's that product? We're yet to get to that module, but we could carve out of lino. And I thought, well, I haven't done that since I was at school in art. That piece is sitting on a table behind her where she's filming. She loves her houses. Oh, she's a clever girl. So that's who I'm talking about. Look at all the little stitcheries. There's Anne. She's got such a gentle way about her. She's, oh, you can just slip into her world so easily. It's very, very interesting, and it's very organic, the work too. There's no pressure. So yeah, I'm thoroughly thorough. Oh, there's this little doll she's working with as a piece of inspiration. Just so different. That's why I'm drawn to it too. It's not my style, but there's techniques in there that resonate with me, and there's things that I'm seeing in the lessons that I remember doing at school in grade 12 art, where you sort of sample a bit of everything. You get to play with oil paints, watercolours, carving, lino printing, and it's great when you come across an artist that pulls bits from everywhere, from sketch through to fabric and textile, and whooshes it all together. It's, yeah, it's refreshing, I guess, to revisit things that you haven't done for a while. She's so clever. So yeah, if you're interested, that's Anne Kelly, and the course, I'll link it below if that's something you would like to do. Now Rachel, I've been itching to unpack these. They've been sitting on my desk for over a week, probably longer, 10 days. And I thought when I film next, I'm going to have a little look. So the packs that I've got so far are imagery, either a page or elements these two I saw pop up. I may have missed her announcement, I don't know, but she's printed just a panel of fabric. And I chose the blue one. Oh my goodness. And also, oh my goodness, Rachel. Oh, there's Fudgy. Come and have a look at this. Oh, see, I recognise these images from her digital kits, which brings back memories. Oh my goodness, girl. How beautiful. All the blues. Now, I think Rachel's still away on leave. So if you scoot over to her Etsy store and there's no physical packs to mail out, it's because she mentioned that she was going to pull them down and when she gets back from holidays, reactivate them so that people weren't waiting for parcels and thinking they weren't getting, picked and packed when she's actually on leave. So don't panic if you scoot across. Maybe give her a week. Oh, look at this. Isn't that just beautiful? Oh my goodness. So yeah, give her a week to get back, settle back in, activate all of those listings that are physical pieces of fabric and kits and bits and bobs. And yeah, then you can place some orders. But yeah, panels of fabric. Oh my goodness. Oh, Rachel, look at that. See, I can't cut this up. It's going to have to be a big project. I think Judy's suggestion of piecing all the elements together into a bigger project, and Lulu said to her mum, gee, a quilt for her bed would be such a family memory of her mum's development of her designs, going from fabric, into fabric, sorry is what I'm trying to say, paper to fabric. What a beautiful heirloom for her daughter. Because goodness knows, Rachel, you're going to be mass production across the world. I can see it. It's going to get bigger than Ben-Hur. I can see it coming. Just beautiful. So I'm sort of liking that idea. Judy, if you're watching, fantastic idea. That way I don't need to cut and disperse it into a million projects. I just have this beautiful piece that is a tribute to Rachel and the time that she has invested in all of us. And, she's been a sounding board for me too whenever I've had situations where I'm like, oh, what do I do with this comment? It's like, just let it go, delete it, just all sorts of things. Yeah, it's been great watching Rachel's development, and I've enjoyed my development, and I think maybe these textiles of Rachel's could come together in an eclectic over-the-knee rug. Let's take pressure off ourselves. I don't need to be making a queen-size quilt or even a single bed quilt, but just a piece that is a celebration of the journey that Rachel's been on, and Judy and Sarah with the Roxy Girl projects, and a celebration of my development of skills. Look, I'm getting emotional. All right, I'm going to say goodbye. I think I need to do this too. Yeah. I need to at least think about it all and see what pops into the pea brain. All right, guys. I'm going to say goodbye. I feel like I've prattled on enough. Down below, you will see Anne's link and the course. I'll link Rachel's store. I'll link Dawn and her video, and I'll link Little Bird. I hope there's nothing I've missed. If there is, just shoot me in the comments and I'll quickly add the link to whatever it is I've been prattling on about. And I'll start putting some thought to my next journal, which is the celebration of my backyard, and what nest I will do. It's going to be Willy, I'm pretty sure. Willy Wagtail. Do another page. All right, guys, look after yourselves, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.